big podcast for you.
But today we'll be talking shit with a guest.
A lovely guest. Perfect for shit.
Perfect for talking some shit.
First off, if you guys don't know the podcast, follow it on Spotify, follow it on Apple Music and all that jazz, and check us out on YouTube. We're gonna have some fun animated moments on our YouTube channel.
Fun visual components, some fun graphics and animation.
YouTube channel is Sid and Olivia. We're also Sid and Olivia on everything. Just a fun fact. Today, our guest is a human, a living legend.
The crush of all boys and girls.
The crush of all boys and girls. A perfect baker.
14 out of 10 human being. Also a genius tap dancer.
Absolutely genius tap dancer.
If you have seen High School Musical, the series, or know what it is because of all the drama that surrounds it, you will know
of this man.
He plays Big Red. We love him. He's our favorite person.
He's
and
our
character
son
in
in
the show.
real life.
Larry Saperstein. Welcome to the show, Larry.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
How are you?
How are
Good.
you?
How are
How's
you
life?
guys?
We're our own studio audience, so that's
Yeah.
how we have to do that.
Yeah. It's really good.
Awesome. So Larry, do you want to talk about how we met?
Oh yeah.
How did we meet? We met through TikTok.
We
We
met
did.
through TikTok.
So
Yeah.
Olivia and I had been just what's that word when you watch everything? Binging. We had been binging High School Musical, the series on Disney Plus. And we were at first watching it being like, what is this? And then immediately
Got
became
so
so invested.
Yeah.
And like at some point, I remember the moment we got invested
Yeah.
because we were watching it, and what's Joshua Bassett's character's name?
Ricky.
Ricky says something, to Nene, and we were standing there, and then Olivia just goes, "Ugh, imagine this boy breaking your heart," and I said, "I know, I'd be crushed," and we
And then
both
we both went, wait, what?
Wait, and we both were like, wait, no, wait, you like the show? No. And then we realized we
like,
both
all right, well,
secretly loved it.
Yeah.
And so the whole time our favorite character was Big Red, the tap dancing friend of
Aw.
Ricky, who just is like absolutely phenomenal and hilarious and adorable.
yeah, and just like a beautiful soul on all levels. And then Sid, I think at some point,
I was on TikTok
Yeah.
and on my For You page, there was a video of Larry that came up and I was like, oh my God, that's Big Red. And I looked down at his username and next to it says follows you. And I was like,
she like
oh my fucking God.
she like called me screaming.
I called Olivia and I went, you need to sit down.
she did say that.
I was like, Big Red follows us on TikTok.
like,
And we were
what
like,
the
oh my God, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
Are
I
we
was
going to
like,
say
what's gonna
something?
happen?
We were like starstruck.
Yeah.
And so we followed him and then we immediately messaged him and we're like, okay, so how are we doing this? How are we
Yeah.
all becoming friends? And then we did.
It was like pure like fate too, because I had been following you guys for a while, probably like since mid-pandemic when you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
were
yeah.
making your still making your like FaceTime
That's so
type
funny.
videos on TikTok. But you guys, I didn't realize, TikTok is geography. It's like based on geography. So when I moved to LA is when my stuff started showing on your For You page.
Oh,
So then that's when you found me. It was not long after I moved to LA. It was
so
very
interesting.
soon after I
Wow.
moved to LA.
And you moved close to where I was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
interesting.
now knowing that you ran the page or run
We both have it on our phone,
Oh,
yeah.
That's no, but
so-
I tend to space out on more things. Sid's better at looking at social media.
I had no idea it was even geography based.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that it was. But then there's like really weird times you'll go down a TikTok rabbit hole and people will be like, welcome to like Cleveland, Ohio talk. Like,
Yeah.
who here is from Cleveland, Ohio? And all the comments are like, me. And then there's one person like, not me.
The amount of times that you get stuck on like prison talk and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like, I
classic
don't
prison
think
talk.
this is like a prison near me.
No.
It's just like a random prison.
Yeah.
Have you ever made it to Russia talk?
No. What's
I
Russia talk
might
like?
have.
It's just Russian.
It's just
TikTok.
Russian TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made it there the other day and I was like, I think I'm too far. I think I went too far west.
Yeah, I
Wow.
often when I'm watching TV on my Roku, shout out to Roku, I guess, I will get ads in Spanish and I'm always like, that's so weird. I'm watching a show in English. It's weird that you guys are like, you probably want this in Spanish though.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Do they know that your dad's from Mexico City?
Maybe they do.
Maybe they
they're-
called him.
Maybe they just gave him a call and he was like, hey, I want her to practice her Spanish.
I was raised in Mexico City. And
I want her
need
to
my
practice
daughter.
her Spanish. Can you just talk to her about Geico in Spanish?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I always say in bed. I always say talk Geico in Spanish.
Talk Geico in Spanish to me, and you're fucking the lizard.
Yeah, every time I fuck the lizard, that's what I ask.
Yeah.
My favorite TikTok rabbit hole I've gotten down recently is like when you find some, like, I don't know how I ended up there, but I found a couple of people who were just like had very specific accounts. Like the accounts were like, I was a meth addict and I was in jail for 10 years, but then I found my twin and we had a battle to the death. And now I'm a mom who raises my son and talks about Jesus. And like every TikTok will be like a dance where it kind of just says the same version of the story. Or like a guy who was like, my wife tried to poison me and I wrote 3 books about it. And she tried to poison me with arsenic. And now I have books about it. My wife tried to poison. No, she did poison him.
And every
She did.
TikTok is him being like, when
Every
your wife
TikTok is
poisons
like, when
you.
your wife poisons you with arsenic. And like, that's my favorite type of rabbit hole to go down when it's like a very specific situation.
There are some of those though that
Yeah.
like those stories
Yeah.
that sound too crazy to be true. They are.
Yeah.
Like they're totally fake.
Yeah,
Like, and they
that's true.
they just make those stories so that they
Yeah.
like go viral.
Yeah.
Which is crazy too.
We should start doing that. We should become complete sociopaths and start doing that.
We should become liars.
Yeah,
I would like
let's-
to rebrand as a liar.
Let's rebrand the 3 of us as 3 big liars.
Yeah, I love that.
3 big liars.
3 big liars
Big
coming
liars.
at you.
You're originally from New York, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, I
What
grew up
what
in
was
New York
that
City.
like? What was it
Busy.
like?
I don't know. Yeah,
growing up in-
it's a different pace for
Yeah.
sure. You know, I grew up like in the theater world, so I was very much around like the Broadway community. I was dancing all the time
Love
and
that.
like doing that kind of stuff. And then yeah, and it's just like everyone's always busy all the time in
Yeah.
New York.
And
That
then
makes
how
sense.
did you, when did you audition for High School Musical and how did that all come about?
So that was my junior year of college.
Oh my God.
So I went to school for design for theater.
That's cool.
And then I did that for a couple of years, and then I was very lucky, and that was my junior year of college. And then I got that. I left school, did season 1.
Did you like, were you represented and you got the audition for it?
Yeah. So I
Nice.
always had like my manager and stuff like that since I was really young, since I was like
Nice.
10. That was
Nice.
like, because I grew up with all those like Broadway kids.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't on Broadway, sadly. But
One day.
one day. Yeah, but so then that happened junior year. And then went to film season 1, went back to school, then
Wow.
went back for season 2, and then it was COVID.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then they had it in the show. Did they have it that you were going to be a tap dancer, or is that something they added in because they
No.
knew you were good at tap?
Yeah, they figured that out at my very final callback. They watched a bunch of videos on my Instagram of me like dancing, and then they were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then that's when I kind of knew that I was gonna maybe get it because
Yeah,
it was
you were
like,
oh, they care enough.
yeah, because it's like, oh, they're very interested in this
They're
random
Instagram
skill
stalking
that I
and
have.
they
Yeah.
like that yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah, and then they worked it in, but they didn't really tell me about it. I sort of knew that it was happening, but you know, it was the very end of the season, so it was like
Yeah.
it was literally the last thing
last
that we
bit.
shot.
Yeah.
So it was
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, the
God.
reveal that you're good at tap dancing
Yeah.
was wild.
It was shocking.
because
Especially because your whole character is you're like, I'm not a theater person.
yeah, the whole
You're
first
like, I
season, you're
don't
like,
know
I don't
anything
know,
about
I know
this.
Yeah.
nothing, and then
then
they're
you're
like, oh wait,
But
wait
tap
for
is in my
this.
blood.
it's funny because the person who is really not a theater person is Matt Cornett. I mean, he is
Right.
more so now, but when we started, like,
Yeah.
I remember he was like, "Are scenes in musicals still called scenes?"
Wait, and
I
who
love
does he
that.
play in the show?
EJ.
right?
EJ. got
EJ,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he's like the theater kid
Yeah,
that
yeah,
thinks
yeah.
that he's gonna be the lead,
That's
right?
so funny.
And I just remember him being like, "So how does a musical work?" And it's
That's
like it's
so
the
funny.
same
Wow.
as a
And you're there
show.
playing the person who's like, how does a musical work?
Yeah.
Like knowing every step of how a
Yeah.
musical works.
Oh my god,
That's so
So
funny.
do you feel like because you were doing High School Musical and it was kind of like a show about high school, do you feel like you guys all kind of got put back in that feeling that you get when you're in high school in like your theater program?
Yeah, I think so. Especially because we were doing so much of the show in the actual school for season
Yeah.
1, at least.
Yeah.
Like, it was just weird to like be filming a lunch scene in the cafeteria where like Troy Bolton like came
Yeah.
down the stairs and
That's
all
so
that stuff.
trippy.
And then to then have it be now my home and it be like
Yeah.
my own, like after 2 years of being there, it's really strange.
That's
Yeah.
so
But-
cool.
And
Yeah.
and just to like make all these new friends, and all you guys have is like, we all love theater, and we're like, you know,
Yeah.
young people, and so
Any
it's-
group of young people who all love theater immediately bond so hard.
any group
Yeah.
of young theater people
young.
are going to immediately bond and immediately become so horny for each other.
That's true. any group of people who are interested in the arts will absolutely have that happen to them.
Yeah, that's just
and
like
then,
what happens.
And then put them all in a foreign city
Yes.
where they have no other friends and no family
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
You're
and do
right.
the math.
Because you guys filmed in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like taking Bachelor in Paradise
Right.
and putting
Yeah.
it in Utah.
Yeah.
And then going
and having it be
It's-
kids.
and having it be
We
kids.
are the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, I
Oh my
love
God.
it.
Really are.
You guys are.
You guys really are.
You guys actually are.
Oh my God, I would
Oh my
love
god,
that
which one of you is going
crossover.
to get
I know, right?
who's going to get arrested?
Uh,
I hope
know.
it's
Okay,
me.
It's like-
of the cast of High School Musical, the musical, the series, who is most likely to get arrested?
like Jen Shaw. And you can say you if you don't want to say anyone
And
else.
Jen Shaw was
it's
arrested.
definitely not me.
Jen Shaw was arrested for money laundering.
Yeah.
I think if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
it's probably like Frankie, which just sounds
Okay,
weird.
okay.
Who plays
Frank-
Carlos?
Yeah.
Frankie plays Carlos.
Yeah, I mean he's also like the oldest in
Right.
the
No,
cast.
that makes sense
So like
that the oldest
How- and-
cast member would get arrested for money laundering.
And how old is he?
I don't want to reveal his age.
Oh, no
worries, no
his
worries.
age is the best kept secret in Hollywood.
Okay, well, I
he
love
doesn't
that.
tell anybody.
Oh,
he
it's
looks very
wrong
teeny.
on his Wikipedia
Oh, it's-
page. It's incorrect.
He's
like his-
teeny tiny looking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
'Cause
let's keep that secret.
He looks so young, which is
He does.
why
He looks a little
I
little
asked.
little boy.
Wow,
Which
that's
I'm loving
why
that for
I didn't
him.
even know it was a secret.
That's so funny. I love a good secret.
I love a good High School Musical the series secret.
Yeah, because we
Musical,
don't
the
have
musical, the
have
secret.
any secrets.
The thing about
as
High
a
School
cast.
Musical
We're-
the musical series is there just are not enough secrets
There's-
or drama.
there's
There's
no
not
drama,
enough
there's no
stories.
secret.
There's not
Yeah.
enough things that people don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
man.
And so you guys should be more interesting,
Yeah, yeah.
okay?
Oh my god! I pray for a High School Musical the series reality show following the outside
We
drama.
wanted that, especially because the show is docu-style. Like when we were doing
Yeah.
season 1, we were like, we need like the documentary of us filming the documentary.
Oh my
And-
god!
and
And
you-
you know what
and
it would
Larry,
be
you
called.
know-
We all know what it would be
What
called.
would it be called?
High School Musical, the musical, the series, the documentary.
Yeah, High School Musical. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
That's amazing.
But it also would do so well.
Oh my god! It would
Now knowing
so well.
exciting.
I mean, just now knowing everything that has
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
group of people.
It has changed culture.
It has changed
Wait,
culture.
what are you talking about?
Oh, Larry
know.
doesn't know.
Yeah, no,
Larry, it's
that's-
about you.
Oh, it's about you and your beautiful tap.
Oh, thank you.
There's so much drama about you and your beautiful tap dancing.
God.
People have decided to make it all dramatic about your tap.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a gag though?
Yeah, I would love
If
that.
love
like
that.
tap dance was
Like a
as,
big
you know,
dramatic moment.
I got as much press
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah,
as, like,
and as
albums.
much controversy around tapping.
Yeah, we were talking about before. We were like, you know, there have been a few albums that have come out of the cast of High School Musical the series, now are going off and having their separate musical careers.
Yeah.
And we think every single person in the cast should get their own
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
explaining
From their perspective.
their point of view of like, I'm just on the side.
Yeah.
I'm eating a pizza.
Yeah,
I'm
like
waiting
Yeah,
to
that's
film.
Make one with Larry and we'll call it
That's
the
literally
Larry
me.
version.
Yeah.
This is like me eating
Yeah.
like lunch
And
in
being
my
like-
dressing room.
And all the songs are like just about your lunch.
You're like, it seems like people are kind of weird at each other.
But I have some soup.
And we had to get swabbed 3 times a week.
Yes.
Oh my God.
See, put that in your Larry's
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Getting swabbed.
The Larry's version is mostly about the COVID
The
precautions.
COVID precautions and just lunch facts.
All the other albums are like about the drama behind the scenes. And Larry's like,
Much
God,
like-
you guys, this COVID stuff's crazy.
You know what's funny though, the lunch facts. I was the only person we had like when we were doing COVID times, when it was COVID times. Normally lunch on set is like a big buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in COVID times they would like box it up
Pre-box it,
for
yeah,
us because
absolutely.
it was safer that way. And nobody else liked the lunches anymore, and I still liked them. Everyone
I'm
was always
glad.
like, the lunches are bad since COVID. And I was like, I think it's great.
See, you deflect
I'm having chicken.
drama. You
Yeah.
say, don't give me any drama
I'm not
about
doing
this
this.
lunch.
I'm
I'm
not
not
doing
doing the
this.
drama of the lunch.
Yeah.
I like this lunch.
I like that the drama follows you everywhere, but you
But
always
you-
go,
you
no.
go, absolutely not.
I'm not a part of this.
I'm not a part of this.
I wish
Keep-
that were more true. But
Well, you know what? We're going to make it true in this,
Yeah.
in
this
what we're putting
universe,
out to the world.
How was shooting all of that, just in general, like
with COVID,
with COVID, with just like it being it's your first like major TV show,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So how was like all of that,
And it became such a huge
and it became
success.
such a friggin'
yeah.
huge thing.
I mean, season 1 for sure was like crazy fun because it was like the first time we were doing this thing.
Yeah.
It was like High School Musical. We were at the school. We were like, you know, it was like insanity. Everything was new. Everything was like happening all at once. And then it was really cool. We knew that like to an extent people were going to like it.
Yeah.
I just remember, you know, when the show first was announced and there was all this hate about it.
Oh, as there always is for everything.
Just sort of taking it with a grain of salt because I was
That's
like,
very
they
smart.
don't know. They'll
Yeah.
once they see the first, it only takes, you know, 2 minutes of watching the first episode to understand
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
what
And
it
then once
shows.
you're on board with that, it's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
smooth sailing.
it feels like this generation's version of Glee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's kind of what we knew that we were
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I mean, season 2 was the first bit of season 2 before COVID was
because
amazing.
COVID, so you started filming season 2, and
Yeah.
then COVID happened.
Yeah. So we stopped for 6 months.
So there's
and
a
then came
huge
back.
break when
Yeah.
you're watching it.
So
It's
everyone,
right between episode 2 and 3.
everyone aged 6 months in a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you really don't notice
No,
it.
no one-
You
no
really
one
don't
looks
notice
any
it.
No,
different
we
because
had
of-
no idea.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't notice it, but it is so funny now.
Yeah.
Knowing that timeline and knowing everything that it's like everyone was maybe fighting with each other, everything was crazy, and like we don't know what was happening, and we can't tell when you watch it.
Yeah.
No, you really
I mean,
can't.
I will say everybody is, you know, they are professionals first. They're all professionals.
sure.
first.
I love
So
that.
like, you know, work was work and
Yeah.
we got through it and it was great and
That's amazing,
Yeah.
especially for everyone being, you know, young professionals. Like
Yeah.
everybody's young, everyone's going through life, and then
Especially
to be like,
when it's like also kind of mimicking the idea of like a high school theater program, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have that kind of group together
Yeah.
Yeah.
and everyone's in that headspace, like you don't expect it to be like professional first because
yeah.
I'm sorry, when
I would be having too much fun.
No, when I was in a high school theater program, it was not. I got in trouble for hitting kids in the nutsack during Crucible.
during Crucible.
We were rehearsing for Crucible, and we would punch each other. We would do vag tag and
Hashtag, I remember that. What was the other one called though?
penis punch.
Penis punch.
And we'd hit each other in the genitals, and our theater teacher was like, "You have to stop doing that.
It's the
It's
Crucible.
the Crucible," and we'd be like, no, like it was, and so
I'm very impressed with you and your cast.
yeah, I
I'm
think that would have been a
impressed
recipe for a disaster if we
I'm
were playing
impressed that you
penis
guys weren't
punch.
doing
If they invited either of us anywhere near it, it would have been an absolute nightmare.
I'm impressed you guys weren't doing penis punch and vag
Yeah.
tag.
Yeah.
Also, just like a fun little shout out, your love interest in the show, Julia Lester, like absolutely, we kind of like ran in the same
yeah.
circles with her growing up.
She
was a-
lived in our area where we grew up.
and
yeah.
did musical theater like
With a lot of
school
friends of
over,
ours,
basically.
yeah.
And so so like
Love
shout out to
that.
Julia Lester. You're beautiful. Hell yeah.
Yeah. What a
Love
fun
you.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, also fun in High School Musical series that everyone kind of has their romantic storyline.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
just sweet.
It's
like
just
It's
fun.
sweet.
It's
even
happy.
the adults.
Everyone's
Even the adults
everyone's
get to bang.
coupled up.
Season 2 was very very much about romance.
It was.
Yeah, it
for
was
everyone.
a romance heavy season.
Yeah.
And so much takes place at the pizza place where your family
The
works.
lovely pizza place.
Or
Yeah.
owns.
Yeah.
Did you get any like free pizza? Or was it very COVIDed out and like the pizza wasn't good? Oh, that
so,
sucks.
Well, so actually, like a COVID rule is it's weird, but you're not allowed to eat on camera during COVID times.
Interesting.
I guess because they're giving you, they're giving you the
endangering
food.
by
Yeah.
giving-
Because, like, you know, if there's a pizza on camera, it's, you know, chosen by the
Yeah.
art department and
Right.
the props, you know, it's technically a prop. So it's like
Yeah.
cooked by and
No eating
prepared
the
by
props.
them.
No eating the props.
No eating the props. And usually anytime I try to eat like a normal prop, like a stapler or something,
Right.
people tell me not to as well. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I was on a show for a couple of episodes, this show called Pivoting that's coming out in January 9th, and my
Snaps for pivoting.
my first scene that I shot, I had to eat, like, I had to be like eating a bagel and like talking with my mouth open and like being a lot. And I was taking really big bites because I was like, I feel like this character would do that. And then I forgot how many takes you really have to do.
Yeah.
And so I think I
So there
ate
was,
like 16 bagels that day.
That's a lot of
bucket.
bagels.
Yeah, and everyone kept being like, and I just kept being, they were like, oh, you're eating a lot of carbs. And I was like, for work. I was like, this is my job. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
It's big spit bucket
But I'm
energy.
sorry you didn't get to eat 1,000 pizzas.
No, there were some pizza eating in the few pizza scenes before COVID,
Nice.
for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah,
Okay,
but-
so you got your pizza in before
Yeah.
that.
Have you ever stolen anything from a set that you were on?
Ooh, good question.
Like a prop? or
I've
like
accidentally. We took something, but we asked for it from a set we were at the other day.
We recently just said, can we take all of our costumes home? And
and a set piece.
Set pieces.
That's going to be in Sid's new apartment.
And then they
love
said
that.
yes, and we got it.
we have the
That's
set.
amazing.
Yeah, it was great. The set piece we got that's going to be in Sid's apartment is like a big map that's color coded, and it says countries that like women.
Yeah.
And it's like only New
color-coded.
Zealand and like Australia and like a couple of places in Europe and Canada, I think.
Yeah, it's
That's
color-coded
amazing.
about places where women have basic rights.
It's so good. Yeah,
Great.
so that's really good. Have you ever stolen anything?
I have. I
love that.
So from season 1, in Big Red's basement, there was like a lot of props and stuff, and so there was like these skateboard wheels that were just like around the room.
Yeah.
And I took one at the end of season 1, and I had everybody sign it.
That's so cute.
And so I have that somewhere.
Oh, I love
kind of
that.
don't know where it is at this moment in time.
That's
I think
fine,
it's.
you'll
I think
find
it's
it.
at my
It's
parents'
just
house.
misplaced.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
just
lost.
misplaced.
You will find it.
So that was one thing,
That's
and
really
then
cute.
like I think I took like a pair of socks.
I love that.
They're
As you
very
should.
they're very like sticklers at the Disney.
I accidentally stole an earring from pivoting, and I
Just one?
Yeah, I took one out, and then I forgot to take the other one out, and I left, and then I got a call, and I'm still actively trying to return it. So if you're from that production team and you want to hit me up, I will return that earring.
Well, they still
But
have
you
the
have
other
to
one.
drive to her.
They do have the other one. Yeah. Come over to my house. Yeah, I do. I do just have. They have one. I have one. Maybe it's like a friendship bracelet thing where like you each take one. It's like a wishbone situation.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah. So maybe that's sweet, or maybe I'm in trouble.
So Larry, what do you feel like is up next for you? What do you feel like you're going to be doing after your whole big High School
After
Musical
your
musical
album, Larry's
series?
version.
I'm gonna
After-
drop an album next week.
That
Actually,
seems to be the trend.
yeah.
and I think he's
no warning. Yeah, it's
So they won't let us eat
won't
pizza,
let us
but
eat
the
pizza.
lunches are still good.
Yeah, well, it is one of my dreams to do some sort of like a comedy album in
love
the
that.
future.
No,
Like
I
I would
love
love to
that,
do like
though.
a Bo Burnham kind of like
musical comedy.
musical
I
comedy
love
album
that.
would be really, really cool.
That's so fun.
I have not started writing it, so for the people that are listening to this,
No,
not
it's
in the
just a
works.
dream.
It's just a dream.
It's just a dream, okay?
Yeah.
And what kind of topics would you want to talk about on your album?
The serious thing would be like talking about the experience on the show, or like working at Disney would just be fun and
Yeah.
silly. But then I think there's also like funny things. I think there's like the fact that I don't do my dishes for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. and
That's
then
I
it's
would relate
gross.
to that one.
Living alone.
So you mentioned that that you would do like a serious song about working with Disney and all that kind of stuff. Is it not all Mickey Mouse ears?
Is there not all Mickey Mouse?
I mean, there are definitely perks.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
there
sure.
are things that are so
Can
great.
you get into the park for free?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But
I love
but it's only like a specific number. Like you only get a certain number of passes.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, how much do you take advantage of that?
I've only done it like once.
I'm feeling
But
us all
then-
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also sometimes you get to go for work stuff, and then that doesn't count
Okay.
towards your passes. It's
That's
only
good.
like if you want to go for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done that like once. But
That's very fun though.
yeah, I mean it's still work, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's got all
absolutely.
the same like crap that a regular
Yep.
job has, which is so weird because
But
it's
plus tap dancing, which is
But
awesome.
I get to tap dance. Yeah.
Have you ever had like a regular job? Like,
yeah,
have you
I
ever
mean
worked at like a
just before I got High School Musical, when I was at school, I was working 3 jobs.
What jobs?
Yeah. So I worked in an office at my school, Pace University, where I went.
Nice.
Okay.
And it was called Educational Media.
Oh, love that.
And it was basically like all of the, old lady professors that didn't know how to turn on the computer
You like
Like
helped
they
them?
would call the office and be like, I don't know how to turn on this projector, and then you would have to like walk up 3 flights of stairs and like walk over to the room
There
and
was
be
an
like,
office
you
for
push
that.
the button
You,
and then like walk
amazing.
back.
And you got paid for that.
Yeah,
That's lovely.
I paid for that.
That's
and then
crazy.
so that was one thing.
Okay.
And then I also worked in the scene shop at my school, so I was like
okay.
building sets. So that was fun. And I would do like lighting. I would hang the lights and focus.
So
them and
you're
all that stuff
super
for the
handy.
shows. I wouldn't say I'm super handy. I am terrified of the saw. I'm terrified
saw?
of the saw, like in
Valid.
the
I'm
That's
in the
completely
scene
terrified
shop,
of the
like
Saw
table
franchise.
Saw.
Yeah,
I
I'm
broke,
really scared of the Saw franchise. Yeah.
I broke a table saw at school.
Well, then the
Oh.
Saw should be
And
afraid
so,
of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And it
Saw
cost
should
like
be afraid.
$400 for them to fix it.
Oh
and it was
my
like a whole
God.
thing.
The
Yeah.
school should be afraid of you.
Yeah, the school
Yeah.
should be afraid of you. The school's budget guy should be afraid of you.
What were your other
what was the
jobs
third
at that
job?
time?
Oh, I worked at the like reception desk. I worked at the reception desk for the tap studio that I grew up
Oh, I
dancing
love
at.
that.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
so
I would like sign people into classes.
How long have you been tap dancing? Since you were a kid?
Yeah, I got really serious about it when I was like 12.
Oh, I
Okay.
love that.
But
That's
I
like
always been doing it, but I got serious
that
about it. at,
age.
like,
That is the age to get really serious about something
Yeah.
because like all your hormones are all weird and you're
Yeah.
putting it out
I was
into
like,
an
"Tap
art.
dance!"
You're like yeah, and then you make that art and then you
Yeah.
some part of it's like always a part of you if
Yeah.
you really got into it when you were 12. Also, fun fact: 12 years old is when your body image forms. That has nothing to do with this, but that's a fun
Whoa.
fact that a therapist told me once.
When you're interesting.
Yeah.
When you're 12 or 13 and you have all that sexual frustration you can't get out because nobody wants to kiss you yet because you're 12 or 13, rightfully
Valid.
so. A perfect way to get rid of it is tap dancing,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would assume. So you became this like genius tap dancer around the time of being 12.
Well, I would say I became the genius tap dancer around like 15. But,
Okay,
you
so
know.
you started your path.
I started at 14.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
You're just being modest. Okay, so then were you like, I'm going to be a dancer? Was that like the idea? Or was it like, I'm going to be on Broadway?
It was I'm going to be on Broadway,
Mm-hmm.
but I tend to fall into like wanting to be the best in whatever thing that I'm doing, even though that's unrealistic.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries.
Okay,
Does
means-
that
I don't
line
know.
up?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I
someone
don't know.
listening to this will absolutely
Someone will know.
I don't know.
So
It was-
comment
if
down
anyone
below
wants to
what the
know.
heck that means.
if it was just my my gut told
Yeah.
me to ask you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone wants to do a profile on me, I'm an Aries
Yeah.
Sun, Libra Moon,
Nice.
Aquarius Rising.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Nice.
take with that information
love
what you
that.
I
will.
don't know what it means, but I'm assuming
My mom
great.
knows what
Yeah.
it means.
I
so.
know that Aries is what, an air sign? Or
I
am
don't,
think it's
I don't know. Fire?
Oh,
It's like-
I think I just heard the word air in it.
Well, that's the thing. I always thought Aquarius was a water sign because it has aqua in it, and it's like a guy pouring water into his junk or something, and it's an air sign, I guess.
It makes no sense that it would be a man pouring water anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it should be pouring air somewhere. So that's totally fucked up, guys. You guys have to fix that.
It's just blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Capricorns are apparently a goat mermaid.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is a technical term.
Yeah.
The way I found this out, because I'm not super into astrology, even though I know I should be, I was at a Starbucks and I was wearing a little necklace that said Capricorn, which doesn't make any sense as to why I'd be doing that because I don't know anything about that at all.
Right.
Imagine if you weren't even a Capricorn.
well, yeah,
you just,
yeah.
you're just like,
What
Just
if I'm
trick
not?
people.
Yeah.
You should. I should wear something that's like Leo or like Sagittarius, and people will be like, "You are such a Sagittarius."
I mean, I used to have a necklace that said, what did it say?
Frank J.
Yeah, I found a necklace at a Goodwill that said Frank J on it, and people would be like, "Oh, is that your boyfriend?" I'd be like, "I have no idea who Frank J is, no idea." And then it broke, which was sad.
it's my
Yeah.
dad.
Frank J is my dad. I had a necklace that said Capricorn. I was at Starbucks. I ordered something. The guy was like, "Oh, you're a Capricorn." I was like, "Sure, yeah." And then when I went to go pick up my drink, he hadn't taken down my name, and he called out, "Goat Mermaid," and I was like, "Excuse me?" And he was like, "That's you.
That's you. You're the goat.
You're the
mermaid,
Goat
asshole.
Mermaid," because
Yeah.
that is what Capricorns are apparently, according to that guy from Starbucks.
Dang, that's crazy.
What's your signs animal?
It's just a bull.
Just a bull.
I'm a Taurus. It's just a bull. I don't know. I feel like it should be a bull mixed with something else because that's what everything else is. I mean, I don't know. I guess the crab's just a crab.
Yeah.
The goat's you're just a goat, right? But aren't you a
Aries
goat?
is a ram?
You're like a ram with like weird legs, right?
Is
That
it? I don't know.
Your legs are like a flame or something. I don't know. I
mean,
feel
it's
like
better
Don't
than-
body shame his ram legs.
It's better than, what's the one that's like just a scale?
yeah, Libra. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer one because it's literally just a scale.
That is
Yeah.
a bummer.
It's like not
There's
a super
no-
fun one.
it doesn't
to
even have a
You could have
face.
just made that a different type of.
And I also
thing.
feel like scales are not even that fun for people.
No,
Yeah.
usually no one looks at a scale and goes like, "I love it."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's upsetting.
It's a scary thing for
Yeah,
some.
for some it is absolutely.
Do you have any animals? Do you have
Yeah.
a ram of your own?
Do you have a ram?
Yeah, so my family, so I have a dog. I grew up with a dog.
Of course.
But then we also have a miniature horse.
Wait,
Wait,
in your apartment?
in New York?
No, yeah, not in my apartment. Yeah, at my parents' house in New
Oh
York.
my
Okay,
God.
sorry.
There's a miniature
At their
horse.
house?
And what is this
Yeah,
like?
outside.
What is
He's
the,
like-
outside.
What's it like to
But
have a
he
miniature horse?
he can go in the garage actually. Yeah.
That's
To like take a ride in the Corvette or like what?
Well, no, he's like not much larger than like a large dog.
That's so.
I don't
funny.
believe
You know
you.
what I mean?
I do.
No, I'm so dead serious. His
I-
name is BB King.
Oh, that's cute.
I love that.
Yeah, and but he's also a service animal. That's why we have him.
He's
A
a
service
service
horse?
horse.
Yeah, a service horse.
Wait
Yeah.
a second. How? What does he service you?
He's so-
That's my band
he's so
name,
smart.
Service horse.
Service horse. Mini service. He's literally like little Sebastian, a miniature
my
service horse. That is him.
My
Oh my God.
God.
That's amazing.
I
Yeah.
want this animal.
This is great news
He's great.
for everyone except for my boyfriend.
I want a
who is
service horse.
Definitely allergic to horses.
Can you take your service horse into a Starbucks with you, or like?
Yes.
You can.
Well, so he's not he's my
Let's
dad's
pretend
service
he
horse.
is.
Okay, so-
yeah.
So can your dad?
Your dad has
Yeah.
a service animal. It happens to be a small horse.
Yes.
He can bring it into like a Dillard's with him.
150%.
Holy
I'm
fuck.
obsessed with that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's time for us all to get service horses.
it's time for us to
Yeah.
all go to New York and see how Larry's dad does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't let you bring him in, they're like breaking the law.
They're breaking the law. You have to let a service animal enter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you can bring in your service horse to a plane.
You're supposed to be able to, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
Oh my god, imagine getting on a flight and there is a horse next to
Yeah.
you.
My family has never done it, but
But they should.
But they can.
They absolutely
legally
should.
can. And
but you
that's
know,
what
like, flying to
matters.
LA, like you ever flown from like New York to LA? People bring their dogs.
Oh,
people
yeah.
bring their like
baby.
They're
Parrots.
shitty babies.
I'm sorry. I would rather sit next to a horse than a baby.
Oh,
any
any
day.
day, any day, in any situation, except
situation.
unless Jake was there because he's allergic. But
Sometimes I
if he
feel
wasn't there,
Yeah.
I'd sit next to that
No,
horse over that baby.
Listen, I feel like a horse and I would really bond. We could talk about our love of carrots
And apples.
and apples.
Yeah.
And a
And a
baby.
baby.
We have nothing in
I
common.
have nothing in common with him.
I have nothing in common with a baby.
I don't shit my pants.
No.
So that's the only thing you
Never.
have.
Yeah, I don't shit my pants. I never cry.
I've never cried. I have never
Because
cried.
I do not have a heart.
If you ever come to New York, you can meet him.
What part of New York can you keep a horse in? Not Manhattan.
No, Manhattan, Long Island.
Okay.
Okay.
Or
that's
like
what my mom's saying.
upstate. Yeah.
Oh wow, a small horse from Long Island.
That's a beautiful.
Yeah, he
children's
talks like
story.
this.
A
Oh my
small horse.
Hi,
from
I'm
Long
just
Island.
a service
Hi,
horse
I'm
from
just
Long
a service
Island.
horse from Long Island.
I think that's like your next project.
I think your
Has
next
to-
project is a service horse
Yeah.
from Long
A
I
Island.
think
documentary
your-
about a service
Your
horse.
next
Yeah.
project absolutely has
And then
to
he'll drop an album.
Yes, and it'll be
And-
service horses version.
the service horse version of everything that went down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I will never get over that, and I truly think that that whatever you do next,
Yeah.
you have to
Incorporate
incorporate
a
your
Well,
service
he's
horse.
in the Disney Family Sing Along.
Oh my God! Wait, we
did
saw
during the
that.
pandemic. Yeah,
This
during
sing-along.
during the pandemic,
Yeah.
there was a thing called the Disney Family Sing Along, and they had a bunch of different, stars from
Yeah.
a bunch of different Disney projects. They had like Derek Huff, they had Corbin Blue, like
They had-
so we were with the cast of High School Musical, like the original cast of High School
That's
Musical.
so cool.
did
Doing
you
We're all
meet
in this
Zac
together.
Efron?
Well, it was all on Zoom.
It was
like
all
it
on
was
Zoom,
all on
but
like
your
from
horse
your home.
was in
Okay.
your place.
Yes,
You
because he
weren't
was there.
zooming
So
with
then
the
I did
horse.
like a little video with him, and they put it in. And it was Ashley Tisdale and her dog next to me and my
And your horse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that is a moment to be proud of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
worth
I mean, come
something.
on. Do you has the cast of, not to harp on High School Musical too much, but has the cast of High School Musical, the original, reached out to the new generation at all?
Some of them.
Because Lucas Grabeel was featured in it.
He was
Yeah.
in it. Yeah. So
he seems like a good sport.
he's cool. Yeah, it was so the person that we like really clicked with was Corbin Blue.
He
love
seems
that.
cool
But
too.
he was also doing press for us, so we had more time to kind of like hang out, and we also got to hang out with him in Disneyland for a little bit.
Oh, that's
So
so
it was like
fun.
a different
I
vibe,
love
you know
that.
what I mean?
No, I mean that's such a
So-
Bondy vibe.
Yeah. So it was like Lucas, Corbin, we met Monique Coleman, plays Taylor
Yep.
in
So
the
fun.
originals.
And now she
also
and Corbin Blue are doing
in another
a
movie, yeah,
together.
Oh, I
that
love that.
Lifetime movie.
Yeah,
I love that.
And they're doing they're playing a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that for
Which
them.
is great. It's like kind of like bringing back
A
that
big old
nostalgia.
throwback. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every, this show has been like a really good start to a lot of people's careers and a really good jumping off point to like, do the next thing you want to do. What's the next thing you want to do?
I mean, I don't know. I really would love to do like a cool like indie movie, like A24 or like
love
something
that.
like that would be so cool. And then I also really want to like write and direct and create my own work. And
I think you should. And I think
Yeah.
you should absolutely incorporate that horse.
yeah, the horse.
Right, only the
Yeah,
horse.
I mean, and then like one of the things that I felt like I wasn't really haven't really been able to explore so much in what I've done already
Yeah.
is like me just being like queer, and not
Yeah.
and not just like playing a straight character. Not that
Yeah.
I necessarily think that like Big Red has to be straight. Like
Right,
he
right, right.
Yeah.
can be whoever
but he's
we
only
want him
been,
to be.
he's only
Yeah.
shown interest so far.
Yeah, and
And-
so like I would love to be able to either write that or portray that in
That's
the
really
next
awesome.
like thing.
And something that's cool about like the new generation of kids shows and stuff, especially like when we were watching High School Musical
Yeah.
musical series and stuff like that,
Yeah.
is like you'll have a character who is queer or anything, and they don't bring it up. It
Right.
just happens. Like
Yeah.
they just go out with somebody who is of the same sex as them, and it's never brought up. It just like is what it
It's
is.
Yeah.
so nice that we're finally like hitting sort of a place in certain media where it like doesn't have to be the issue. It can
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
a fact.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I've been sort of grappling with too, as
Yeah.
just as playing Big Red. It's like, well, Big Red can be bi.
Totally.
Like, he
Absolutely.
has a girlfriend that is
Yeah.
part of the bisexual experience.
Absolutely.
And just
Absolutely.
because he doesn't have a boyfriend doesn't mean that
It just
he's
means he's
not
currently
queer.
monogamous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like I think can be brought to every single character.
Absolutely.
I love
You know.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great change from when like how Disney was when like I was
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah.
like there was never anything.
Yeah. There was like the occasional character where you're like, oh, I bet that person's gay.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
like even
yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
never actually like
No, he was just
he was
fabulous.
queer coded.
Yeah.
And
know.
Coded.
they also I feel like they kind of gave us hints that maybe his love interest was Kelsey.
Yeah.
The pianist.
Yeah.
And which was always so weird to me because I was like, you guys are really playing
You're
up the
really-
fact that he is probably like very flamboyant.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they'd be like, but he's not.
But
Right.
don't worry.
Which is like
Definitely interesting.
kind of I don't love that.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah,
just
it was
very
like why? It was like they put it in a direction then sort of took it away.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like a backtracking.
Yeah.
Of like,
Yeah.
no, don't
Just kidding. We don't have
yeah.
anyone gay.
Like we wouldn't make a statement about that,
Yeah. Yeah.
being very much like we're trying not to take a side, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
That's
Yeah.
so funny, which is what I love about the new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I love that you're getting into writing and directing because we love that. And
Yeah.
that's just like such
Well,
a fun thing.
I look up to both of you as
You
writers.
are amazing.
we look up to you
We
as a
look
tap
up to you as
dancer.
a tap
We just
dancer.
can't do it.
We
at
can't do
all.
it at all.
You want a lesson? We'll go.
Oh,
We'll
wow.
do
You
a
know
tap
who would
lesson.
actually love a tap dancing lesson
Your
from you
mom?
more than anyone in this entire world is my mom.
Yeah,
I
knew
will
you
give
were
your
gonna
mom a
say that.
tap.
My
dance lesson.
mom took tap lessons for like years when I was in high school, and she just broke her ankle. Unfortunately, I watched it happen. It was freaking wild. She
That's
tripped
so
down the
crazy.
stairs, and we were all like, "Oh, you're fine, Gail." And she's like, "I think I broke my ankle," and we were like, "Oh, you're fine."
That's what happened to me when I broke my leg. Everyone was like, "Pff, get up and walk it off." Good.
I just remembered something that we should probably talk about on this
Yeah,
podcast.
what?
That I matched with your sister on Hinge.
Oh,
yeah.
my god.
Shout out.
This was months ago.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And nothing ever happened.
Well, here's what's so funny and weird. My little brother and Sid's little sister were in the same grade.
Yes.
They're very good friends.
Yeah.
When they were freshmen in high school, they dated for 1 week.
Yeah.
Before Sid's sister was like, "Oh, actually, I like."
She was
make-
more interested in girls
Yeah.
at that time.
And
Copy.
and my brother was like, "Hell yeah!" Now they're just like both really good friends. But he's a redhead too.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Look
I
at
guess
that.
she has the type.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her type.
I just remember like I matched with her and I was like, she looks really familiar.
That's so funny.
And then she was like, you look familiar. And I was like, why?
I love
And then
that you
she's
both
like-
Wait,
were
and
like,
didn't you guys meet once? Like, you guys
We
were, like,
met
in a room.
once
Was that
at
before
your
or
apartment
after?
before.
Oh,
but it was
my
like very
God.
brief. It was
Yeah,
very brief.
It was
Oh my
so brief because she,
God.
like,
And she
came
had
in
frozen
and came out for a
yogurt.
second.
oh my God, that's
She did have
so
frozen
funny.
yogurt.
That
That's
is so funny. And you look so familiar. You look so familiar.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And you had met.
And
You
then
had
she was
met-
like, I'm like Sid's sister. And I was like, who's Sid? And then she was like, Sid Hiller. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
That's
I
so
understand.
God.
Oh
I
my
just,
God.
it took me like everything being spelled out
Yeah,
for me
absolutely.
to put the
Well,
pieces
because
together.
Yes.
if you see someone in a situation where you don't expect to see
Yeah.
that person, you
Yeah.
never. It's so hard for me to recognize.
Oh my
Like,
God, no. It's,
We should have gone on a date. Sorry, we
should
didn't go
have.
on a date.
You know,
Yeah.
you're part of the family now.
I know. I could have been your
You
brother-in-law.
could
Your
have been.
brother.
You could have been.
Oh
Well,
my
there's
God.
still time.
Then you would have had a redheaded brother. I have a redheaded brother. I have a redheaded boyfriend. It's
Lots of redheads.
We'll make it.
There's
We'll make
redheads
them
here.
Surrounding everybody.
We'll surround everyone with
just
them.
lots of redheads around.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Oh my God.
I literally want now everyone that I like to just marry into my family.
Yeah, I think that's such. Well, you've got to have Jillian clone herself then.
Yeah, I gotta have Jillian clone herself, and I'll stay alone, and I'll just
Yeah.
wait for my sister and her clones to marry everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need anyone if you have all of these extra
No,
siblings.
why would I need anyone if
Yeah.
I have a bunch of
If you have a
sister
bunch
clones?
of clone siblings, you don't need anything romantic. Now
And if you
that's-
have a service horse,
if
Yeah.
you have a service horse, you don't need anything. Period.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need anything else.
Nothing else.
He's very cuddly.
I love.
How
that.
do you cuddle on a bed?
Does Jillian
No.
know she missed out on a fucking service horse?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her know.
I'm letting her know right now.
He does so he comes into the house. We didn't like finish
Yeah.
telling the story.
Yeah,
yeah.
So so there's a backyard pen. Okay. And it's pretty large. It's like maybe like 16 feet by like 16 feet. So it's like pretty big.
Next.
And he has like a run-in, kind of like a stable thing out there. He stays out there most of the time. If it's like very cold or if it's really rainy or just like super windy, not good weather, he can come inside and there's like a smaller area in our garage that he can stay in.
Oh my God.
For short periods of time,
Right.
not for long periods of time. But then also like he is trained to go into the house.
That's
So like
amazing.
there
Does
was
he
one
use the
time-
toilet?
No, he does not. But he does use like a litter box.
That's 10 out of 10.
Like so he's like trained to use like
How tall is he?
maybe like
Oh
four
my
like
God.
3.5 4 feet.
3.5,
That's
4 feet.
amazing.
Like not even not even 4 feet. 4
Yeah,
feet is like
if I'm
too much.
5'5".
Yeah.
He would probably go to like your waist.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
We need to
beautiful.
get one.
Yeah, we got to get one.
As an intern.
yeah, that's true.
Service horse intern.
But he can pick things up. So like if you drop something, like he can like pick it up and give it back. to
Well,
you.
that's all we need as
That's
an intern.
literally the only
Yeah.
thing we need.
I am so obsessed with your service horse, but I'm also so obsessed with you.
Yeah,
I'm
we
obsessed
love
with you, and
We
I'm
are
obsessed
just
with you.
We love you.
We-
think
Thank
you're
you for
the
having
best.
We
me.
love you. We think you're the absolute best. You're
Oh.
just a gem of a human being.
Do you have anything you want to promote or shout out or any handles or anything at all?
goodness.
Anything you want anyone watching this to go check out?
Well, I need to get better about posting on TikTok, but you can follow me on TikTok at Larry Saperstein. You can follow me on Instagram at Larry Saperstein. You can follow me on Twitter at Larry Saperstein. I've been tweeting a lot recently.
At Larry Saperstein on
Yeah.
so
everything.
it's time to get over there to those handles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get to
get
those
those
young
handles.
handles. You got to get over there.
Yeah, I got to do something soon worth promoting.
Well,
my God.
I
Drop the
believe you
album.
should be doing something with the horse.
Yep.
Until next time, I've been Sid this whole time.
I've been Olivia this whole time.
This has been Larry this whole time.
this whole friggin' time.
And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, follow us on Sid and Olivia on everything, and he's Larry Saperstein on everything. And thanks for checking out the podcast.
And we will see you next time.
Bye!